I'll start off with an Arachayim, be it that's the Arachayim's yard side, I think he's working. Moedik Arachayim and Bertrum. Samachta b'chol ha'toiv, says the Arachayim HaKodesh. B'chol ha'toiv is referring to Torah. What does the Chazal teach us? What does the Gemara say? Ve'ein toiv ela Torah. There's one absolute good. That absolute good is Torah. Listen to what the Arachayim says. You're right, a person has to be holding what Arachayim was holding, because only a person that's holding by the Arachayim can make a statement like the Arachayim is going to make. Shemhayu b'nei Adam argishim mesikas ha'reivas toiv ha'Torah. If people would feel the sweetness, the pleasantness, the geschmack of how good Torah is, hayu mishtagim, they would go crazy over Torah, mislatim achareh, would be enamored with Torah. Lo yechoshe b'nei amalei olam. All of the goodies in this world, Fort Knox, crown jewels, whatever it is, whatever. Lo yechoshe b'nei amalei olam kesef is avlumah. All the gold, all the silver would be considered anything. Why? How could the Arachayim make a statement that all the gold and silver, that all of Fort Knox is worthless? All of the crown jewels over there in London are worthless. In Torah, you have every good that there is in this world. First thing a person has to know, a person wants to do something for the memory of the Arachayim HaKodesh, just think about this 2, 3, 4 seconds, at least 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds today, on his yard site. That's what Torah is. He says more. Next week's parasha says the Arachayim. I'm only telling you this because it's an Arachayim. Arachayim writes, the Alshich writes down, he's quoting an Alshich. Keep listen good, Rabbi. So what's the mouth? The peh. Shalom de Torah dina kiklishares. The mouth of a person that sits and learns Torah is a utensil. Just like you had utensils in the base of English, whatever they were. Asher yisharsu gam b'kodesh. Ki kedusha v'kedusha kedusha saTorah. There's no holiness. The holiness of Torah. When you learn Shnai Merks and Vitalis, Arbavas Nizikin, Aisha Niknas, whatever you learn. Whatever you learn. And that's what with your mouth. That's what he says, the Arachayim, the same Arachayim we read before. V'lozeh also l'daba boy afilu dvaret divrei choil. Things which are unholy. Chol is the opposite of Kodesh. You can't talk. Divrei choil. Hagam she'ein bahem dvar masur. You're not speaking anything forbidden. You're not speaking anything prohibited. Umashiramaz b'maimar. And what the Chazal teach us, the fuva, shupeh ha'omo b'Torah, a mouth that twirls in Torah, the whole day is involved in pursuit of Torah and understanding Torah. That's it. In the word puva, you have a vav and a hey, half the name of HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Mishpachas hapuni. That person has to know. He says, "Tzarich lifnois mipiv kol chutz me'ahagas." Anything which is devoid of Torah, don't think about it. He's got how the person wants hatzlocha in Torah. That's the one way to get it. That's what when the person thinks about Arachayim. Arachayim, Chmon al-Islam didn't have any children. The power that children take to produce, Arachayim put into his commentary all across the Chumash. Tzaddikim say, if a person, Rahman al-Islam, doesn't have any children, he should learn Arachayim HaKodesh every day. Learn it, whatever piece you want. doesn't make a difference. Bereshis Lech Lecha. Balak, Pinchas doesn't make a difference which parsha. And the school of Darach Chaim is he put in his pshat, he put in his commentary on Torah, the ability to have children. So a person has to know. And since we're speaking about what Torah is in essence, to tell you one more word, not from Darach Chaim. A question that always bothered me, it bothers the commentaries too. Everybody knows that Yisachar is the tribe of Torah. Yisachar is Torah. One has to ask a very simple question. If one gets to V'zayis HaBracha, it says, Smach Zvulun B'tzeisecha, Zvulun rejoice when you go out, V'yisachar B'yalecha. Yisachar rejoice in your tent. I don't understand. Yisachar is the tribe of Torah. You give him a tent, hey Bishta. You got one Yisachar, one tribe totally devoted and dedicated to Torah. What do you give him a tent? Yisachar doesn't need anything else, because Yisachar knows that in Torah you have everything. If you have Torah, you don't need anything, you don't want anything. You're in the zone. That's Yisachar, that's Darach Chaim HaKodesh. And if we think about this a little bit, hopefully the Darach Chaim will intervene on our behalf for every good. Getting to the parsha. Mishnah says in Pirkei Yov is a Mishnah which everybody knows. Chamisha Yeshlai, Chamisha Yesh B'Yodai Shleishes Dvarim, Halalu V'Talmidav Shel Avram Avinu. Shleishes Dvarim Acherim, the three other things. V'Talmidav Shel Bilam HaRasha. Two sides to the same coin. Avram on one side, Bilam on the other side. Continues the Mishnah, Ayin Taiva, Grach Nemucha, the Nefesh Shvala. Those are the three things if you're a Talmud disciple of Avram. Uberashi, what's Ayin Taiva? What's the definition of a good eye? If somebody's going to meet you today, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, an hour, 2 or 3, bump into somebody on Shabbos, you have to say a quick Torah. What does it mean, Ayin Taiva? I'll tell you what Rashi says Ayin Taiva means. Ayin Taiva means She'ein like Kina Chaveirai. What I means he's not jealous of his friend. Simple definition. That's it. Don't be jealous of your friend. Bilam, being the character that he was, couldn't stand if somebody had something he wanted. Couldn't stand it, couldn't stomach it, couldn't fathom it. I don't have. I don't have. Bilam was the opposite of a good eye. Bilam was jealous. And if a person looks at the commentaries, the Mishnah says, 3 things take a person out of this world. Kinna, Taivin, Kavod. Don't just speak about Kinna because it's the first one. We don't have all day. Just speak about Kinna for a few seconds. If a person's jealous of what his friend has, he's not happy with what God gave him, he's kaifin HaKodesh Baruch Hu, he's denying the Creator. Whatever his friend has, if it's health, if it's wealth, whatever it is, if you're not happy with what you have, look at the Tzaddikim and Shara Kinna. That's what he says. Hashem knows what every person needs. Bilam was that character, he wanted everything. With that we can understand something else. If you look at the beginning of Parashas Pekudei, I know it's not Pekudei today, but we're here, we're free to talk about what we want to talk about. So here's a very simple gasha. The beginning of Parashas Pekudei, when the Torah enumerates how much it is, how much gold, how much silver, gives you a play-by-play to the penny of what was spent in making of the Mishkan. So he asks a very simple question. If you give, what does the Gemara say over here? It says the Dushas Levi, Ele Pekudei HaMishkan, Mishkan Eidos, talking about the Mishkan, Al Pi Moshe B'chulei, the Gemara says in Tainis, Ein habracha shayre b'davar asafur v'shokol. Bracha doesn't happen. Bracha doesn't last on something which is counted, which is measured. No bracha. You want bracha? Hazal tell us somim and I. It has to be concealed from the eye. So yeah, why are you counting? Why are you telling me 10 of these and 20 of those and 30 of these? Yeah, who cares? It's a difference. That's the Tushas Levi's question. Why? Who needs exact amounts? That's his question. Why do you have an exact amount? Because a person should know in life. He says over here, you want bracha, he brings an interesting pasuk in Shir HaShirim. Enecha breichais b'cheshboin. Your eyes can bless when you count. We just said counting is not good. That's his question. Well, let's make the question a little differently. When is looking at something, when does looking at something bring bracha? And when doesn't it? What's the bottom line? And over here is where he speaks about ayin hara. That's Bilam and ayin hara. Bilam, wherever he looked, was cursed. Simple. When is a cheshbon? When is accounting a good zach? When is it good? If Bilam does it, it's not good. So when is it good? Pshat is that if a person sees that everything, Ruben has, Shimon has, Levi has, doesn't make a difference. So if the person sees everything that his friend has, he realizes it's from the bounty of HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So when he's looking, when Ruben's looking at Shimon's stuff, Ruben's happy for Shimon, so that brings more and more bounty. That's a good eye. Because I don't look. Baruch Hashem, your friend has. Hi! But when you have a question, when it bothers you, why he has what I want, whoa. If you're wondering, why does Reuven have what I want? Ooh, that's where all the bad eye comes in from. That's when all the problems start. Again, like I said many times, I don't know if I said it here, HaKodesh Baruch Hu could make everybody in this room as rich as Bill Gates. Everybody. Make everybody in the world as rich as Bill Gates. But you think Hashem doesn't have enough money? Hashem can print new money. He presses the button, you got billions of dollars like this. So why does he make everybody rich like Bill Gates? You don't like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, doesn't make a difference. Hashem knows if you have all of that money, it's not good for you. Why it's not good for you? Go think about it. Go figure it out. Of course Hashem can do what he wants. It's not good for you. Why does it bother you that your friend has? That's a good eye. So when a contemporary of yours wants you to have it, it brings more and more bounty. That's what brings the bounty. Depends how you look. Depends what kind of vision you have to begin with. If you could take it that he has, it's a good thing. And that's what he continues over here. Because the person that's looking and he's forgetting, he can stomach that somebody else has. No. I mean, the words of the Levi Yitzchak. He sees the power of HaKodesh Baruch Hu and what his friend has. If you see the power, if you see the bounty, if you see God's blessing what your friend has, it's a good eye. That's good. If you're not like that, you're the other way, then you're a disciple of Bilam. With that we can understand this whole parasha. First of all, when you think about Bilam, you got to ask a very simple question, which the Sefarno asks. Balak, smart man. He's going to Bilam, he should curse the Jews. Hey, I got a simple question, says the Sefarno. Why don't you tell Bilam to bless you? Understand? Says the Siparna at the beginning of the parsha, Bilam can't give a bracha. A person with a bad eye can never give a bracha. And that's why, if you look in the Chumash, it's also next week's parsha. It just happens that, what does it say about Moshe Rabbeinu? Next week's parsha, the Torah says, Hashem tells Moshe, appoint Yehoshua, put your hand on Yehoshua. What does Moshe Rabbeinu do? Moshe puts two hands on Yismach is Yodov. God tells you to put on one hand, you put on two. She says, by Yafa Yosef, Moshe Rabbeinu had a good eye. Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't care less if somebody knows as much Torah as him, and even more than that, Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't care less if somebody knows more Torah than Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe's biggest nachas is if his disciples know more than him. And everybody in Klal Yisrael is a disciple of Moshe. Moshe puts two hands on Yehoshua. Wow. Because when you give a gift, a nice and matana, says the Gemara, you give a gift, you give it by entire. You don't have to give a gift. The gift is not required. But if a person does give a gift, he gives it with a good eye. If you give it with a good eye, you can do one, and Hashem wanted. Hashem says one eye, puts on two hands. And it's across the board like that. I'm sure maybe there are a few Kohanim here. I don't know if there are, if there aren't. But the only bracha that you say ba'avo, Birchas Kayanim, Hashem can be shown in the mitzvahs of Tzibon, the Birchas Amma Yisrael ba'avo. The Birchas Kayanim only works halach in Shulchan Aruch. We're not saying Musa now. We're saying open halach in Shulchan Aruch. You can only give the bracha that the Kohen gives if you do it with love. Finished. Halacha. And if you don't love everybody there, we'll leave alone the love, because you can look it up in Shulchan Aruch. I'm not so sure that Kohen should bless people. He doesn't love everybody. Something is missing. You need an ayin taiva. For bracha to be chal, a person needs a good eye. More than that, we'll read you a few more places, I'll tell you a few more places where you see this inside. The whole story of Rus, Elimelech, the whole story of Shavuos. It all happened. There's a grow over here, to mind the grow. Yeah, the Gra says, well, there's no specific order we have to go into, I'll tell you the Gra now. The Gra writes, beginning of Rus, Vayavau stay Mayav, Vayagar Mayav, in this week's Parsha, and in Rus he came to the fields of Moab. Vayishav, Vatsalayma. Why did they go to Moab? Why you did? Vilnagon. Kikol alichasa me Eretz Yisrael. Why did they leave Eretz Yisrael? Why did Elimelech's wife, family, also Yud Sarayai, they had a bad eye? You have a bad eye. They went to Moab. Why they go to Moab? The guy tells us. They also had bad eyes. People with bad eyes like to associate themselves with bad eyes. I'll just tell you a simple story that somebody once told me. A very wealthy fellow once told me. I said, well, yes, we got to be speaking. How come your father doesn't give charity? He told me. My father's going to leave it for me. He wants me to give it out. Shaita! Retard! Retard! If you give it, your son will have 5 times as much, 10 times as much. You're waiting to drop dead, so the charity that you should give and help needy families, son should give out. There's only one problem is, who says your son's going to be smarter than you? He's going to leave it for his son. Crazy word. Sarayen, if you don't have a good eye. And what was his punishment? Everybody knows the story of Rus. But tell you anything you don't know. They left Eretz Yisrael. Okay. It cost them, 1 died, 2 died, 3 died. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. What are you going to do with the money? You have enough money to live longer than Mesushelach. And if you learn from Bereshis, Mesushelach lived 969 years. If you have enough money, over 900 years, my son will give it out. Your son will give it out. That's on the side that you don't lose most of it. A lot of people lost a lot of money in the last 10, 15 years. With this, with that, I'm not giving you an economics class over here. You're waiting for your son to give it out. What could you do? If you don't want to give, you don't give. He was an Osher God, Rashi says it a little differently. He was a very wealthy man, Elimelech, Uparnes Ador. He made the top of Forbes 400. Sarayen had a bad eye, so he skipped town. That's what happened. That's what happens. A person, like the Rambam says a person's influenced by his environment. Now you know why Elimelech went to Moab. So he went there. He knew Moab wasn't big in the field of charity. Set up places for Elimelech. Most of the sons. It's a marvel, it's mine. Hashem shows it to a person. You don't give tzedakah b'seira. It costs a lot of money not to give tzedakah. Then you wonder why. Why did God do this to me? Oh, you wonder why? Let's check your books. There's reasons for everything. What does the Gemara say in Saita? Lamed Ches. Gemara says, Toiv Ayin, U'Yevayrach. A person with a good eye. We're not discussing halacha, we're discussing the Gemara, but it's halacha too. If you give somebody the cup to bench in your house, give it to somebody that has a good eye. You want bracha, no? If you don't want bracha, give it to Bilam. If you're a liberated Jew, give it to Mrs. Bilam. Or maybe Mrs. Bilam was a Mr. Bilam. I don't know. But that's the bottom line. And the Gemara says more than that in Saita. The birds. The birds. No. Who has a good eye or who has a bad eye? So Myridik, Hashem put into the Bria, Hashem put into the creation, even birds. No. Who has a good eye and a bad eye? Time doesn't permit to read the whole thing. Birds, birds, birds. It's mind-boggling how much wisdom there is in the world. So Myridik, wherever you look, this is the eye, it's all in the eye. It's all in the eye. That's what he says, the Rambam, you're influenced by your environment. And you're right, you can live in any environment you want. You're still influenced by whatever environment you live in, you're influenced by the environment. That's what a person has to realize. He says, in Bereitev, he says over here, Kishemevarchim Berchas Kayanim V'ayim Mevarchas Ama Yisrael Ba'ava, he writes, the Isa B'Zayar. This is what the Zayar says. It's what down in Shulchan Aruch. Kol Koyin, D'Layrachim La'ama. Koyin that doesn't like the people, Koyin that doesn't like the congregation, will make it simple. Hayama, Layrachim Lay, congregation doesn't like him. La Yisa Kapov, don't pick up your hands. So Myridik. If there's no good eye, the Kohen is, So that's halacha already that we just read. It's a Zaya. It's a Reb Shimon. That's what a person has to realize. You're right. Maybe a person say, Rabbi, how do you want me to be a giver? It's hard to give. Right, it's hard to give. Everything good comes with practice. Whatever it is. You want to be a good guitar player, you got to practice. You want to be a good male, you got to practice. Whatever it is. It's all practice. It's all about giving. And one more word, since it's a famous word, some Sefer. Some Sefer writes in the Chuvas, writes a Merdi Gezach. The person goes, I could learn Bereshis, he could learn Schmooz. It's hard from Schmooz, even Bereshis is the same thing. Schmooz more so. Vaydaber Hashem on Moshe, Hashem tells Moshe, Moshe has to tell the Jewish people, there is no Jew that knows all of this went on with Allah, Bilam. There's no mention. It's one parashas Bala. There's no. He went here, he went there. It tells us the scenarios. Bala, Bilam. And Sefer says it's the only part of Torah which doesn't say Dabar Hashem and Moshe. Hashem didn't speak to Moshe. It was recorded. And we should learn that you have a person with the potential of Bilam. And Bilam realized somebody upstairs is pulling the strings. He realized it. Still, Reb Shimon Zatzal always used to ask, what's the reason why the Goyim have a Navi? The Goyim have a Navi. That the Goyim shouldn't say, you gave the Jews a Navi, give us a Navi. Say that. Kasha still stands. You gave the Jews Moshe Rabbeinu. You gave the Goyim Bilam. How does it compare? Shimon Zatzal used to say year after year, every year Bilam could have been a Moshe Rabbeinu. He had the potential. What a person does with his potential is his issue in mind. And a person that Bilam had potential. And a person has to realize everybody sitting here has potential. The only question is, what do you do with the potential? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. That's what we learn. That's what we learn from Bilam. That's what we learn from Bob. That's the bottom line. We're supposed to give everybody siyata d'shmaya. We should do what we have to do. And if we do what we have to do, I'm sure Hashem will bless all our endeavors.
Amen.